Friday. I can't sing. Sometimes I don't even plan on doing that. I don't even plan to come out and sing or anything. Sometimes it just happens, right? So welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Ask StreamYard. I am your host, Melanie Dyann Howe, and today we're going to be talking about using the organizational tools inside the StreamYard studio to streamline your streams. I just wanted to see how many times I could say stream in one big run-on sentence. So happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the show. And I got to say hello to all of our friends hanging out. We got South Africa in the house. What's up? Yes, it's me, Tools. I like it. I also like that profile picture. It makes me want to go get out in the pool or out on the boat or something. So if you're here, say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you got going on. Let me know some wins you've had. I don't care. Whatever you want to say. Keep it real. Keep it polite. Don't get me all, screwed up or anything, right? So anyways, it's really great to see everybody here today. So if you are just not joining us and this is your first time watching one of these shows, this is basically the show where we like to take a question that we've either heard from our audience or heard from people, either posted in our Facebook group, and we like to take a deep dive on that question. And one of the things that comes up a lot is that it's not necessarily a question. I haven't really received this question of how do I use these features. It's really more people are looking for better ways to streamline their shows. They want to be able to plan ahead. They want to be able to batch work. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, I did an episode all about helping you with some tips on how to actually batch your live streams. You can't batch the process of being live, but you certainly can batch some planning and your thumbnails and your titles and your descriptions. But another one of those things about getting set up, you can also batch the setup of your stream. And so we're calling this like streamlining your streams. And so what we're going to be talking about today is I'm going to actually help you learn ways you can use a few of the features in StreamYard so that you can actually be prepared so that my goal is that you literally just show up, walk downstairs, walk into your studio, and you click the button and you're ready to go live. Everything's all set up for you. You don't have to sit and prep and spend 2 hours before your stream to get everything ready. You can actually do all that ahead of time. So we're going to talk about some of those features where we can do that so that we can have some fun, right? So, okay. We got Jennifer Tislerix here watching from Detroit in the house, she says. We've got Montreal hanging out here with us as well. Stuart's here over from Sweden, right? I think Stuart is watching over there from Sweden for sure. So, all righty. We got Data is King in the house. Yeah, there you go. Use folders in StreamYard. Yes, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about brand folders. I think it's still one of the most underutilized, amazing features. I also don't think people realize it's there. I think so many people don't realize it's there. So we're going to talk about that for sure. So, oh, love it. Jamie says, we love StreamYard. Timmins, Ontario, Canada. Fantastic. Well, I'm super glad to see you here today, Jamie, watching with us in the comments today. So I am going to answer your questions because part of the show is also to do some live Q&A as well. So hang on to those questions that you might have in regards to using organizational features or batching or streamlining your streams. That's what we're talking about today. So if you've got questions about that, then I definitely want you to hang on to those questions. We will get to some Q&A for sure here. Oh, Scotland. Dang it. It started with an S. That's all I got. That's all I had. Totally not the same country at all. Not even close. But I'm sorry, Stuart. I'll try to remember that. Scotland. Okay, cool. All right. Debbie's watching from Florida. Fantastic. We got New Jersey in the house. We got Pakistan in the house as well. All kinds. Oh, here we go. So Chris says, I set up streams a month ahead of schedule. There you go. I love it. Chris says, could we apply brands and banners to apply a template to a particular live stream? Yeah, you technically could. So we're going to dive into all these fun things. So I'm going to show you some features today. But first, before I get started, I do want to make sure everybody is aware that you can join our community. This is actually one of the best places where I actually get ideas for this show, because this is one of the best places where you can ask your questions and get answers. You don't have to wait for me to cover your question on a show. You could post any question anytime inside of our Facebook community, and I guarantee there will be a bunch of helpful people that will jump right in the comments and they will hook you up with strategies and tips and do's and don'ts and all kinds of things. We have an amazing community over on Facebook. So join it. All you got to do is search StreamYard Community on Facebook and you will find that Facebook group. It is open and free. It's not a membership. It's all good. Just get in there. Get in there and have some fun. And don't be afraid to be helpful as well. I like it when you're helpful as well in the comments. So we're definitely going to be chatting about that. So, okay. So today we are going to talk about the organizational tools. So I'm going to jump in. So I'm really just going to show you some things. Many of you are aware of some of these features, but I want to maybe talk about the ways you can use these features. So again, let's talk about a scenario. A scenario could be that you have one show that you do. Okay. For example, this show, the Ask StreamYard show. Maybe you do it once a week. And of course your content is different each week. Maybe that's all you have, one show. Some of you might say, I don't really need these features because I just have one show anyway. Well, I'm going to tell you that you could actually batch prepare that show by using the brand folders feature, which I'll show you in just a second. Now, some of you have multiple shows under one brand. Okay, so you have, for example, so at StreamYard, we have our Sunday Town Hall where Gage and Dan go live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and they go live for about 30 minutes, and they talk about kind of new things going on. They like to ask questions, hear from you, and they like to also give you a preview of maybe what features are coming down the road. That's every single Sunday at 9 o'clock. Then we have this show, the Ask StreamYard show, which is every Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. And then we also have some people like Nick Nimmin will go live on our channel. We have Daniel Batal goes live once a month on Saturdays with D. Nimmin, and they do channel reviews. Christian Karasevich goes live as well, and he does live stream reviews, right? We also have Live Stream Impact, which is going to be coming back to life again, that Julie Riley does. And then Dana and Kelsey have the StreamYard Spotlight show that they do once a month, where they take one of you and they showcase how you're using live video to make your dreams come true, right? So all of these different shows have their own branding. So I don't know if you've noticed that before. So our Sunday show with Dan and Gage, they use a lot of the blue color. They use their own overlays, right? My show is typically the purple with the yellow, right? It kind of has its own brand and feel. And then, of course, the live stream impact show has its own. Dana and Kelsey's has their own. And then the Saturday shows have their own branding elements as well. In fact, Daniel and Nick use their own graphics. They use their own thing. Christian uses his own background, all that stuff. They're all different. Instead of using one studio for all of these different themes, if you will, you can use a brand folder for each theme. So if you have one channel, but you have different shows you do, maybe you do a tutorial show, maybe you do a Q&A show, maybe you do a interview show, and they all have a different look and feel, you don't have to throw all of those overlays, all of those things into the same stream studio. You could create a different brand folder for each one, and that's the intent of that. The other scenario is that maybe you're actually using StreamYard to go live and stream to multiple channels. Maybe you have a non-for-profit channel that you're helping with. Maybe you have your own business channel that you're doing. Then you maybe have your kids' personal hobby channel that you're doing. You can use the same StreamYard account, connect those destinations, and you can create different brand folders for literally different brands, right? So that's that scenario as well. So those are some of the scenarios that I wanted to kind of cover because I want you to know where you fall. Like, where do you fall into the scheme of things? Because I'm going to show you why and how you should be making sure that you're absolutely using brand folders no matter where you fall into the grand scheme of things, right? So I'd love to know in the comments what category you would put yourself. Do you have one show that's a standard show and that's it? Do you have multiple shows under one brand? Or are you streaming from multiple brands at different times, right? So I want to know in the comments what you are, what category you fall into for sure. Is there a calendar with all these shows? That is a great question. So there is not a calendar per se, but that is a great idea. I know that for a hot minute, Julie was changing the cover photo in our StreamYard Facebook community, and she was putting like that week's, show schedule, and it was kind of consuming. And so, and also we were making some adjustments to our live strategy and our live shows, and so that sort of went over here. When I say over here, it just kind of fell off the wayside, which is fine. But there's no calendar per se, but that is a great idea. That is a great idea. We have a calendar internally where we're using Asana to plan our shows. So maybe we could come up with something to publish it. That's a good idea though. Really, really cool idea. Okay, let's see. Tim says, I'm all over the community. Great resource. Good. I'm glad that you're in there and I'm glad that you love it. Okay, this is a fun topic, a fun idea for later, for another show. Hollywood Squares, any ideas for doing your own Hollywood Squares on StreamYard? Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's see. Geeks on Tour says, we use brand folders for our two main brands. Yep, so they've got two brands. Very cool. Let's see. Multiple shows for one brand. So Jennifer Tislerix is saying there's multiple shows, one brand. Bowling with the Fef says, one show, one brand, unorganized. That's pretty funny. All right, so Bowling with the Fef. Maybe we'll be able to help you out. Maybe this will help you. Okay, we got Philtastic Comics and Art. I do one show currently. Smackdown Outdoors. Doug, super glad you're here. I was hoping you'd be here. He says, I have 5 different brand folders for the different shows I have. Yeah, so he's doing different shows, different formats. Bowling with the Fef says, I just replace all my banners and stuff in the same folder over and over. Okay, very cool. Chris Alsop says, single brand, but we have multiple and different overlays. Okay, there you go. Okay, different shows using different brands from Data is King. All right, so you guys are definitely a little bit, you're all kind of like, we've got a good blend here, which is really, really good. So a really good blend. Ooh, that's a good question. No BS catfishing. I will answer that question for show. Stuart says, multiple shows, 2 brands. Okay, cool. I like it. Okay. Love it. So Chris joined the community. Yeah. Fantastic. All right. So let's dive in, shall we? So I'm going to share my screen. Actually, let me get into the right account. I'm going to go to my account. Whoa. Oh, this just showed up in the StreamYard studio. So there's apparently a YouTube Brazil outage, by the way. So that's that. If you log into your StreamYard account, you'll see that banner at the top. I love how they can do that. Like when there's things happening, they can put it right in there. So Francis, I love and totally agree with this idea. I love, love, love it. I actually would also like to be able to copy a brand folder and just copy a brand folder and everything that's in it gets copied. But yes, I agree. It would be nice to be able to just, instead of re-upload and be able to copy it over. I totally, 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 totally agree. So here's what I want you to do. So Francis, this suggestion of yours is fantastic and I love it. What I want you to do is make sure you set some time aside, and I want you to go over to StreamYard.com/contact. There is actually a place there for you where you can you can actually fill out the form and submit your feature requests, your feature ideas. This goes to our development team. They look at it, they receive it, they read these. So definitely send that over to there, and that would be fantastic. All right, let me get into my studio. I'm going to go into the studio. So we are going to talk about, right? Yeah, so I knew we'd get some votes for that. Speak English with this guy. Yeah. I want to combine a photography channel with vlogging. That would make a good brand for this, in your opinion. I mean, photography and blogging, or photography and vlogging, yeah, you could totally do it depends. You just want to think about your audience and don't confuse your audience with too much content, too much varying content, right? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to go in the studio, and I'm going to show this to you. So let me share my screen. All right, so we're in the StreamYard studio here, and you'll notice when I keep saying things like brand folders, if you enter the studio and you're just sort of going live and you're only looking at comments and you're not doing a lot, you may not even know that this is here. But if you go to brand, so obviously the studio itself, let me actually make this a little larger for y'all. There we go. So you have comments tab, which is where you'll see your live comments. Then you have banners. Inside banners, you can create folders of banners. So for example, I have multiple folders. I have a folder for my countdown, which basically goes into all the things I want to say during the countdown. And then I also have a different set of prompts that I use for my weekly show. This is where I go ahead and put in like the content I'm actually going to describe. So, I talked about, this was a show where I talked about, creating content, right? And I went through different tips. I basically went through all these different tips with them on how to basically create a content strategy, right? And that's essentially what I did. So all those are part of that. But I have a different folder for the countdown itself where I might talk about all these other things I want to promote, whatever that might be, right? So to create banner folders also go across all of your streams, no matter where you're streaming inside your studio, which is nice. So you can make a folder for a set of banners you want to use for the beginning of your show. Then you can make a totally separate folder for a set of banners you want to use in the middle of your show. And then you can have a folder for a set of banners you want to use at the end of your show, right? People like to do this because they just like to keep track of where they are and what they're talking about. And so they use the same banners in the beginning and the end, so they don't need to change those. It's the middle folder that they would change all the time. Like, all these little things right here, those would change all the time. And you notice, sure, I could use one folder for everything, right? But look how many there are, and it just gets a little messy. So it gets a little tricky. So Sanita Makes Crochet Items is folders for paid version. Folders are for everyone. So all accounts, free accounts and paid plans have brand folders and they have banner folders. So I'm just showing you what you see in the banners tab. A lot of people don't realize you can make different sets of banners. All you have to do is hit this plus folder and you're going to be able to create another set of banners, right? Okay. But then the brand tab, okay, is where you can change your color. And this is where you can also change your theme. So again, you have the theme style where some of you like the original, you've got like the bubble. The classic is the original one. This is how it makes everything look different, right? So you may have a different theme here. This is also where you can upload logos if you are on a paid account. So this is essentially the brand. Think of it as the visual look. This is the visual look and feel, the brand that you're trying to create with your StreamYard studio. So again, color, logos, as well as overlays. If you are on one of our paid plans, you can upload your own logos, okay? You can also upload overlays that get displayed during your stream. You might use complete overlays. You might do some fun ones. You might do some pop-ups, right? Because if that overlay, that's how that would look. That's an overlay that I have. It's a transparent overlay. That's why some of it is seen and some of it's not. So that's what those can look like. Now, in addition, you can also upload videos. This is where your countdown timer is going to be. This is where you might have some other types of, items that you have in there as well. Be right back video, right? I did a whole show on using the loop feature and how it changes the game completely on how we use videos, right, in our stream. So again, you have to be on a paid plan. Same with background music. I also did a show last week talking about the newest feature, which is you can now upload your own custom audio files, including sound effects. You can now delete audio files from the studio as well. So if you're like, I don't like all these regular StreamYard ones, I just want to use my own, you can delete these. And the reason why I'm going through this is because it's a lot to have organized. So look at this. I got all these different overlays. There's a lot going on here, right? Now, if I go all the way up here to the top, up here, okay, you notice that it says weekly show. This is because I have more than one brand folder. These are brand folders. Now watch what happens when I switch from this brand folder to another. Okay, notice the color is white. Notice my logo, the overlay currently displayed. Watch what happens when I switch to a different brand. Boom. Everything just changed. You're like, whoa, what happened? Well, a different set of logos. I have a different color. I even have a different theme selected. I have different overlays uploaded. I have different videos uploaded. The background music, again, is the same because I haven't customized those, right? So all that is in a different brand folder. So you're like, well, Melanie, not much change. It's still your stuff. Well, what if, again, all of those of you who have different actual brands, so you're streaming for you're streaming for another brand, you've got, 3 channels, right? Well, what if you switch to that other brand? Look, this is a completely different brand, a whole different brand with a whole different set of overlays and videos and all of the things. All different, right? All different because I switched the brand. Turn that off. If I do it again, go to another one. We'll go to a demo one here. Again, this is like just got all kinds of wacky stuff in there. So, okay, why would you use this? Well, what if you had, again, if you're somebody who has a show and you're like, I have, I do tutorials, I upload videos and stuff. You have to, if you're doing that show every week, you have to basically get your studio ready every single week. Or you can create a brand folder for each show. Now, I will say, if you are going to use the brand folders for one brand and just different shows, and you want all the same logos, the same color, the same theme, you are going to have to go through that process for each brand folder. Meaning, you're going to have to get the color set. You're going to have to put the logos in there. You're going to have to put your standard assets, your standard brand together. As of right now, you cannot copy a brand folder. I personally think it would be an amazing feature. I definitely think that I will suggest it because if you could just copy a brand folder, then you would have all that stuff already set. But as of right now, you would have to, go in, establish the color, establish your brand assets, your standard stuff. But then you would upload each unique aspect for that show. So maybe maybe you have a show where you interview people. Like, for example, Doug with SmackDown Outdoors. He interviews different specialists. He might want to do different graphics for that particular show. He might want to upload some little commercial clips that kind of promote his guest inside of his studio. Well, he can create a different brand folder for each episode that he's doing and get all the graphic assets set to go, right? So that's that scenario. And then the other scenario, of course, that we talked about, obviously the obvious one is those of you managing different brands. Like Jennifer Tislerick said, I have one StreamYard account, but we have, somebody in here said they have multiple brands. It wasn't Jennifer. Jennifer's the next scenario. You have different brands, truly like different channels. Well, you have a brand folder with a different set of colors, different graphics, all the things in different brand folders. Here at the StreamYard, in the StreamYard studio, we have different brand folders for the different shows. So literally, if I go up, I'm in the Ask StreamYard show. Oh, this one doesn't have it. But if I click and change it, watch what happens on screen. I just went to the demo. The color just changed. Like I don't have any overlays in here, so I mean, here's another one. Like you can totally change to different streams, different brands right there on screen. So anyway, the other scenario was the Jennifer Tisler example where she said one StreamYard account, one brand, different shows. That's like what we do here at StreamYard. We have different shows. So we literally would be using different colors. Each one of our shows uses a different color scheme, and we have different brand folders for those different shows. That way, if you're doing the Ask StreamYard show, all you gotta do is go into the Ask StreamYard folder. Everything's all set for you. All good to go, all done. Easy peasy, right? And so that is brand folders in a nutshell. So here's the thing. I really wanted to talk about this because one, I still feel like so many people do not realize that the brand folders feature is there. I also feel like my fan is going crazy on my computer right now, and I don't know why. But I also feel like it's one of those things where people don't realize how they can use the brand folders. They see that it's there, but they aren't thinking, like they think of it as, oh, I only have one brand though, so that isn't really useful for me. You can use the brand folders for like all kinds of stuff. You can duplicate your assets, and if you have different segments of your show and you just want to keep those overlays at a minimum or keep the videos at a minimum, meaning when you're in the studio, then that's going to help you. It's like I literally know a scenario where there are a lot of people out there who are using tons of assets. They're using a lot of overlays. They're using a bunch of video clips because they're using videos as transitions, which we did a show about, a few months ago as well. They have different things uploaded into the account. It's too many things to look at and to scroll through, and they don't want to click on the wrong ones. So you can literally create a brand folder for the first segment of your show, the middle segment of your show, and then the last segment of your show. And you could absolutely do it this way. Now, some of you that are doing really long streams, like multiple hours at a time, you might be bringing in multiple guests at a time. You could create a folder for each of those areas of those segments of your show. That way, again, you don't just have all these overlays, all these graphics in there. Some of you are like, wow, I don't use that many graphics in my streams. Well, you should. That's what I always say. I would love for you to start incorporating overlays and videos into your streams because it really does make it a lot more fun. But the other big reason I wanted to point this feature out is because now with the ability to upload your own audio tracks as well as delete audio tracks, I would recommend everybody just keep it standard, keep it simple, and just delete the stuff you're not going to use. If you're not going to use all those StreamYard background music tracks, then delete them, get them out of there, clean it up in there, and just let yourself be organized, right? And so let your StreamYard studio be streamlined for your streams. So let me check in really quick. I want to make sure that I am not missing your questions. Oh, I was scrolled way up in there, up in the comments. Yeah, so this is interesting. So Bowling with the Fef had said, I just replaced my banners and stuff in the same folder over and over and over. You totally can do this, right? But Bowling with the Fef, if you wanted to plan ahead, then you could create a different brand folder for the next show so that it's all planned. It's ready to go. The banners folders, if you wanted to just say, hey, I want to plan my shows. I talked a few weeks ago about batch planning. If you really were doing that, it is definitely the most efficient way for you to get set up for your streams. So if you wanted to sit down and say, I'm going to plan all my streams for the month of August, well, you can actually get your studio set up for all those streams as well. Even if it's the same brand, the same show type, different episodes, you could just you can make a banner folder for each show and just say, hey, here's the week 1 show, here's week 2 show, here's week 3 show, here's week 4 show. And you just have all of those in there. And then when you're done with each show, you just delete the folder and go to the next one for the next show. It's all set up. And the point of this is that when you're in the zone of planning, when you're in the zone of prep, when you're in the zone of getting your studio set up, you're in that zone. I hear often so many people say that they just think live streaming is too much work. There's too much that goes into it. They don't want to, they just want to, if they're going to do it, they're just going to use their phone, keep it simple because it's just too much work. They're like, I don't have 5 hours to stream. And I'm like, 5 hours? Like, what? And they're like, well, yeah, to get ready, to do all the stuff, to do all the things. It doesn't have to be that way. And so my whole point is to help you streamline your process, which is what we talked about a few weeks ago. And then today I wanted to talk to you about streamlining the actual studio itself. So you can absolutely just keep it simple like Bowling with the Fef is. But if you really are one of those people that truly wants to plan ahead, you know, be able to batch the prep, batch the planning, batch the content, batch the stuff in the studio, then I definitely suggest you use the brand folders as well as the banner folders as well. Let's see. Let me scroll back. Whoop, I got to get into the correct. Here we go. I see some questions coming in, and I am definitely going to answer your questions. So let's keep those questions related to today's topic, and I will absolutely cover them. I think I had one already. No, I didn't have one queued up. Let's see. Oh, Tim says, I would love to see animated backgrounds. Here's the thing. Right now, the backgrounds, you can only do a GIF file or a GIF, and it has to be less than 3 megabytes as of right now. But it's possible that in the future that the background may accept a different type of format. But for now, it's only the way it is. Okay. Vicky has a question. She says, so the music selection can change with the brand? Yes. So inside a brand, I'll show you. So inside a brand folder, okay, so I'm in demo brand. Do you see that? If I can delete all of these songs. If I just want to clean it up, right? Keep it simple. Clean it all up, out of here. And I only want night driving and rock. That's what I'm going to leave in there, okay? Or if I want to add my own song, okay, I'll just add something really quick. Just add this song in here. So I'm going to add my own song. Again, make sure you have the rights to use it. We talked about that. Make sure you have the rights to use it. It's going to save it there. So now there it is. So I have 3 tracks in that brand folder. If I go to another brand folder, it's going to have all the tracks. I haven't changed these yet. So if I go back to that demo brand and I scroll back down, look, just the 3 songs. So yes, you absolutely can use that brand folder to also have a set, because a lot of people have said, like, I don't use those tracks. I don't need them all. Well, then take them out. And if you are using a subscription service like Epidemic Sound or something, you can download your tracks and you can upload them into the StreamYard studio for a more streamlined experience. But maybe you have different songs that you use for different shows. You can absolutely use the songs, videos, overlays, audio files, and logo, colors, all of those things will carry over to the brand folder. So you can absolutely customize each one of those things and they will switch just like that when you change it up. Good question. I like that question. All right, let me scroll back up. I see some more questions that I want to get to. Yeah, so Stuart, a lot of people have mentioned this. Francis mentioned it as well earlier, said that it would be really nice to be able to copy an item to another folder. I agree. I think that would be super, super sweet. It would be fantastic, actually. Let's see. Send that up in the feature request, right? Joanne says, new to me. I need to figure out how to streamline for sure. Yeah, I mean, Joanne, if you have different show types that you're doing for your channel, you could create these brand folders for those different show types. Gina is saying she's got lots of things in her studio. So yeah, Gina, hopefully, you can use these organizational tools to kind of create just a different, just streamline your studio, a little decluttering, a little organization, right? Just think of it as, we're looking at our little, our cubicle of stuff, and we're getting it organized. We got a different box for everything instead of everything going in the same box, which I should probably organize my cubicle of stuff. Think of your studio as the same way, right? One box for each show. Let's see. So Tim says, I use the brand folders all the time because not only for the live, but also for my recording for my podcast channel. I am so glad you brought this up because this is a scenario that we didn't really mention. He's totally right. Some people are using StreamYard for multiple things. So let's go through the different use cases for StreamYard. One, live streaming. We just talked about that. some people are using StreamYard also for meetings. We have had totally covered that on this show, that you can absolutely replace Zoom with StreamYard. Well, you might want a different experience, different vibe for meetings, right, than your live stream show. So you might use a different brand folder for your meetings so that it's just a different, look and feel. And then you also might be using it to record a podcast. Well, obviously the visuals may not be quite the same. You may need a totally different experience because you're not, maybe interacting the same way. You might want something else there. And then as he said, the recording only feature, maybe you're using it to record your actual maybe you have a course, maybe you have an online course and you're using the studio to create your course videos. Maybe you're using the studio to record and create your YouTube videos, your tutorial videos, whatever it might be. Maybe you're pre-recording a webinar style video and you want to share slides. Well, you might want a different look and feel than your live show, right? So you can use the StreamYard Studio to go live, but you can also use it as truly a media studio. You can use it to create videos, you can use it to do podcasts, and you can use it to do meeting spaces. And soon you're going to be able to use it in a much deeper way in those aspects, because there's some pretty big enhancements coming out later in the year that will allow you to do some pretty amazing stuff with those different use cases. So pretty excited about it. There you go. So data is king. This is a great suggestion as well. He says, I use brand folders for different software applications that I teach. So yeah, let's say sometimes you teach about Canva, sometimes you teach about PowerPoint, sometimes you teach about Photoshop. Well, you might have little different tutorial videos uploaded into your studio for those different applications. So that's another great scenario as well. Yeah, Gina, I love it. So she says, I make bio videos for my guests. I love when people do that. Also, some of your guests may have a sizzle reel. They may have something that they want to send to you and you can put it in there. Joanne says, how do you manage the show end screen with comments so quickly after removing yourself from the stream? I did it and it was a little clunky. Practice is one thing I would say. So I typically, what I like to do is there's a couple ways. This is actually a good use case of brand folders that I actually thought of right before the show. And I was thinking about it. I was like, ooh, I could do that. So for the end screen, let me pull up my shared screen again. So you notice, let me do this one. Do you see this background around me, the purple, right? We have the purple background around me. Well, right now, the background screen that I have is just a purple background. So let me remove myself really quick so you can see it. This is the background. Okay, so I just removed myself. That's the background, okay? Now look at what the background. So Joanne, what I do is I have my standard background that's up, and then right before I'm done with the show, right before I'm done, I make sure I'm on full screen and I go switch to the background that says, thank you for watching. And that's what I do. And then when I'm ready to be done, I say, thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next. Well, that didn't work out very well. And then I remove myself, and then I just go right over to the comments tab and I start clicking on the comments where everybody's saying thank you, bye-bye, whatever. And then I just end the broadcast. So that's one way. But another way to do it without having to scroll around if you wanted to stay in the comments tab, because if you look, the comments tab is in a totally different location. So when I'm here streaming and then it's time to end the show, I have to navigate over to brand, scroll all the way down and pick the appropriate background, which I don't have any. I don't have any. So like if I wanted to do a totally different background and end the stream, like that. But you're here, you select your background, you end the stream, you take yourself, and then you got to scroll all the way up to the comments again and get caught up in the comments. One of the other ways that you could do this is you could actually create a brand folder and call it goodbye. And you would make sure everything's the same. So you would make sure your logo's displayed. You would make sure the color's the same. Let me do this real quick. All right, so we'll do this color. We'll go to goodbye. Go back up here. Let's see. Let's do this logo. Goodbye, right? Okay, so there's an overlay display. That's why. I would do a background that says, thank you for watching, whatever. I'm just changing it so that it's easy to see. But you would literally, if you were here in this demo brand, okay, and you wanted to be ready to be done with your show, you could be like, all right, everybody, we're going to say bye for now. Appreciate you all. Really ready to have a good day, whatever. Boom. And you all you did was that. You can actually just simply do that, and you would change whatever experience you want the background to be. So that's another way you could do it. That's just like a quirky way to use the brand folders. That was a really long answer to a question that was a long one. My bad. Okay, let me find. I think I saw a couple more questions. So yeah, hopefully I didn't just confuse everybody like crazy. I feel like maybe I did. Sometimes when I get all live demo-y, it can get a little squirrely. So hopefully I didn't get too squirrely there. There you go. So Joanne says, follow up. I was just clicking with my mouse. Thought maybe Stream Deck might make it more smooth. Well, let's see. Your hotkeys, that would be what you control with your Stream Deck. You can't toggle between different assets. So for example, you can't switch a background. So you can't be on a background and then change a background. Now what you can do is you can, I don't think you would be able to use a hotkey to do what you're talking about. Now you could use a hotkey to remove yourself from the screen. That would be just to do that. But you can also click with your mouse. So that would be the only hotkey that might help you out, as to remove yourself from the stream. All right, let's see. Got a few questions in here. Happy to answer them. They're not necessarily related to the topic, but that's okay. Let's see. So, Philtastic Comics and Art. Do you have any recommendations where we can find other countdowns? I got to tell you, there are a lot of applications now that offer countdowns. I really like, so there's one called Place It. There's Canva, has actually come a long way when it comes to video templates. You can create countdowns in Canva. You can actually even go to Fiverr and you can have somebody customize one for you. There's a bunch of them out there where you can actually get these countdowns. I think that even Adobe Spark now has some. Shaka Jackson says, how can we use it similar to Zoom meetings? Yeah, I did an entire Ask StreamYard show that basically it goes through this process, right? So if you go to our YouTube channel and you go to uploads over there, here, I'll just show you real fast. I did an entire episode about this, but essentially you go into the studio and you go into the studio, but you don't go live. You can have guests in there. You can do all the same things. So let me pull this up. If I go to the StreamYard channel and you go to, so go to videos. And then this is all the uploads, all the lives, all the videos. If you just go here and you scroll, you will see way down way. There it is. StreamYard. Can StreamYard replace Zoom? Yes. The answer is yes. I think I did this entire show with my other camera angle because my camera wasn't hooked up. But yeah, this episode right here, let me see if I can actually just grab the link for you and put it in the comments. Whoa. I hate it when it does that. Have too many cameras. I think I'm going to say no. How many cameras do I have? 1, 2, 3. There we go. 4. There it is for you. I have 4 cameras. There's the link to that episode right there. And I have another one in the drawer. That is just like my old Logitech 920 I don't use. So yeah, I've got 4 cameras hooked up to the computer. Like I said, the ZV-10. I've started using StreamYard today, so we're going to have to troubleshoot that one during this process before I go live later on my own channel. So. Gary, you're so funny. Yeah, we're going to have some fun here today, actually talking about this. So, I will say, last week, we were in, Patreon, etc. Kathy says it's beautiful today. That I cannot answer, and I do not know. That's awesome. But I do know that so last week, I had the absolute honor and pleasure of attending Social Media Marketing Library, but also with fellow StreamYard friends. So I am a partner of StreamYard. I'm your live streaming mentor. I love helping people go live. But I am so passionate about this
this amazing
and you,
product. So I was
if you
super
set it
honored
up
that the StreamYard
correctly,
team asked me to
you will
join
actually be
them
able to
last
download
week in
each
San
video
Diego.
feed separately
We had an
so that your
amazing time.
post-production
We
editing
loved
abilities
connecting
is,
with
more free for you.
existing customers. We also got to talk to some people who had never even heard of StreamYard before. Imagine that. There are still people that have never heard of StreamYard. So we actually got to talk to all kinds of people, got to meet a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing friends of the channel. It was absolutely
items. Well,
incredible.
here's the thing. I'll tell
so
you.
much fun.
What I do love about
loved
StreamYard
it.
is they know
so
who they're
that
trying
was
to
last
serve.
week. That's why
So
we
there
weren't
are
live
other
last
tools
week.
out there
We were
that
live
are
a couple times
super
while we were on
customizable. You do
location.
all kinds of
but,
crazy sophisticated
the day
things. But
Wednesday
there's a whole
morning when I
world
was
of
getting
people
ready to
that
try
wanna
to
go live and
create
stream,
our
and they
Ask
don't wanna
StreamYard
mess
broadcast.
with
We're just going to do it
all
live
of the
there.
bells and
The
whistles
internet was
or
not
the
being very
cost of
cooperative
that.
at that
And
time,
so
so it wouldn't have been a
StreamYard
very
is
good
really
stream. Wouldn't have been a
trying to
very good
serve
experience for
and make it
any
easy.
of us.
That is
So
one of their
sometimes
core
that happens
pillars
when you
is
attend
ease of
large
use
events
as
with a
well
lot of
as
people. Is
stability.
that your
And so
internet,
the stability
the
factor
bandwidth
is
can
key
get
when it
eaten up.
comes to
So
not having too many
I
things.
missed you guys last week, and hopefully
what
y'all missed
what
me.
I like to
We're
do
definitely
is
going
show
to be
people how you
doing this.
can
We're going to have some really good time.
maximize.
Yes,
I mean,
Junaid was
StreamYard
there.
is
I got to
simple.
meet
It's
Junaid,
just-
of course.
It's
It
very
was super
simplistic. It's
fun.
very easy to use.
I got to meet
But you
so
can do
many
a lot of cool
friends
things with
of the
it.
StreamYard
You just have
channel,
to know
as
how
well
to use
as
the features in
customers
unique
and
ways.
just like I
So
said in
it's
general,
not for
just
everybody,
friends,
but it's
friends,
for a lot of
peers that are
people,
doing all the
and we're
great
gonna-
things. So
we're gonna stick with
okay,
being for those people.
let's dive in here. We're going to have some fun today because we are actually going to be talking about using
okay, so Music Fame
StreamYard
says,
as
I find
your
when I use the
meeting
blur
or
background
conference
feature in
room.
virtual
So
backgrounds,
here's the
my
deal.
stream
Derek Barron
severely
asked this
lags,
question in
and
our
I have a new
Facebook
high-powered
group.
computer. Could you
He
please
said,
give some
"Is there a
advice
way to
on
use
this? Thank
StreamYard
you,
as
Mel."
my meeting
I
or
would agree.
conference
So
room
I
with
personally
prospective
find that
clients?"
when
So
I
this is a
have
very specific
when I am
use
using a
case
virtual
about how
background
you would
in
use it.
anything,
But here's the
including-
deal:
I should
a lot
turn
of
off
people
this
don't
YouTube
realize.
video that's over on my other screen because it's distracting me. I agree. It does. It kind of requires a really strong internet signal. And I mean, even when I'm like in a Teams meeting or something, or wherever, and somebody's using that blurry virtual background, it just diminishes the quality of the video feed. I think it's just one of those things where if you're going to use that, you have to be really careful. And if it's going to do that, then I wouldn't use it. I highly would I would not recommend using it. It is for whatever reason. I mean, on any application, it's going to be pulling a lot of power. Andrew Kavanaugh got the Elgato Face Cam. I do not have that webcam. I have thought about buying it, but it's interesting. You said anyway to reduce the electric buzzy look. When you say electric buzzy look, I think you're referring to, for example, this is my Brio webcam, which is a pretty good webcam. It can go up to 4K, but it does create that different look, the different sharp edges. You could definitely work on some adjustments with it. Look at my hair. It's time for a haircut. But yeah, it'd be interesting. You just got to play with it, but definitely share in our group, Kavanaugh, when you get that figured out, when you decide what you want to do. All right. Let me see. Do we have any other? Oh, sorry guys. Oh, terrible. Now I see your comments. I apologize. I'm so sorry. That is because I am using this device right here, which is a Beacon Mix Create, which allows me to stream out to you browser audio. So I am so sorry. That was probably the most annoying thing on earth, to hear me talking and an old video about using Zoom. So I apologize. I now see all of your comments. I was scrolled way up. And didn't see Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Heck, somebody probably texted me in the middle of that too. Nope. But still, super sorry, everybody. Okay, let me get back. Oh my God, it's the worst ever. I see it now. Okay, sorry guys. Apologize. My bad. It happens. Things are going to happen to you. When you're going to go live, things are going to happen. So, okay. Wowzers. Okay, what was I talking about? What was I saying? Okay. Tim asked the question. I already forget what I said, honestly. So let me go back. Found it. Will some of the enhancements include things like on Ecamm? So I don't know about the whole BMC, Buy Me a Coffee, which is what that stands for, and Patreon being integrated. I don't know about that. I do know that, and I think what you're talking about, links to, when you say links to, I don't know about that. Links to, I don't think that there are links to them. I think that you can automatically add those links into your description of your broadcast if you want. when you schedule your broadcast. But if you're talking about like the alerts popping up, no, those are browser links that get embedded into Ecamm. I don't know if they're going to be looking at those types of things or not. But the enhancements I'm talking about are more around your ability to export video files separately when you have a guest so that you can do some additional post-production editing. And then Andrew Kavanaugh talked about the face cam. And he was talking about, he said, any way to reduce the electric buzzy look. So the Elgato Face Cam is a webcam. It's a USB webcam. It's a great webcam. This is a webcam. This is a USB webcam. This is the Brio, the Logitech Brio. So you notice that it's got that, it's got that webcam look, right? Like it's got that sharp edge. It's just got that webcam look. You can use some features of the Elgato software that lets you kind of, change some settings. I don't know if it would make it look less webcam-y. It's definitely worth trying. I just worry that it's actually going to make you look blurry. So if you reduce the sharpness, but I would definitely give it a shot. Like definitely play around with it and see what you find, see what you learn. I feel bad. I feel really, really bad for all that. Oh my gosh. I feel terrible. I'm so sorry. Doug says it was a little hectic. That was terrible. Okay, let's see here. So Shaka says, I'm sure StreamYard works better streaming live using a computer, but can't have the full experience using a cell phone as well. Can you? You can have almost the entire experience using a phone. So you can actually just go to StreamYard.com on your phone in your like Safari browser, and you can actually use almost all the features. You can't do sharing of a screen, and there's like a couple more features that aren't available, but pretty much the entire studio experience is there. It's just really small on your phone and can be a little bit difficult to produce. So yeah. So if you guys are just not joining us, today we talked about using the brand folders and the banner folders to streamline your live videos. We talked about how you can actually use this to organize different show types under one brand. We talked about how you can actually organize different brands, literally brands, using the brand folder. And it's one of those, it's a feature that I think that a lot of people don't realize is there. So I did a demo, I showed you it. And I also went through the scenarios about how you can use this to better plan. Again, a few weeks ago, I talked about and I shared some tactics about streamlining your planning of your live videos so that it's easier for you to just show up and go live. But then today I wanted to show you one of the tactics that'll allow you to take that batch plan you just did, but then also batch set up your studio so that you can have that streamlined experience for sure. So I definitely wanted to cover that today. So sorry for the little issue there with the video playing at the same time. I was scrolled up in my comments looking at the questions, and I didn't see all your live comments coming in telling me to stop the dang video. So I apologize. Super sorry about that. But I'll be back next week on Friday for another episode of Ask StreamYard, where we will be also taking another topic and answering your questions about it. So I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their day. I'm doing what Joanne Banco talked about earlier. I am getting my thank you screen ready so that it's very easy for me to essentially be done with the stream and show you the thank you screen. But I hope you tune in again next Friday at 11 a.m. to hang out with me again as we go live and talk to you. Now, the other thing I want to make sure everybody knows about, two things. I have two things I want to make sure you know about. One, make sure you tune in on Sundays to our town hall where Dan and Gage actually talk about, and they give you a bigger tease than I do about features coming, but they also ask for your feedback and your input. And then the other thing that I want to make sure everybody knows about is there is an awesome, oops, I need to edit that. Hold on. Let me edit that really fast to take out that. There we go. So this website right here, boom, new.streamyard.com. Go there right now in another tab, and you will see this is the best place for you to stay up to speed and up to date on all the newest features. And you can actually subscribe and get email alerts every time there's a new post made to that page. So it's actually fantastic because I know a lot of people say, dang, I didn't realize that feature was there. All you have to do is subscribe and you'll get alerts every time they add a new feature or enhancement to our studio or our, application. So, all right, everyone, that's all I had for you today. I hope you have a really great rest of your Friday and, of course, an amazing weekend. I will be talking to y'all soon. Until then,